Hey, you're one of 12 listeners of the Real Life Podcast, brought to you by Rig Hand Distilleries.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Love that Yale fight song.
The first Yale fight song of 2019, Chalmers. Makes a guy feel good. Puts a pep in his step and the zip in his whip. Other things of that sort. How you doing, boys?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Bag milk?
Very well.
Happy
Yeah.
New Year. Is it too
Same
late to
tall.
say that?
Jared,
Both of you.
Good.
you're in the house?
Is it too late to still say Happy New Year?
I don't think so. Chalmers, last time I saw you was at the Nation Christmas party.
Yeah. Well, I just have this thing where I don't know if you can say it past a week.
Yeah.
So just making sure I can still say it to people.
I was
Your cutoff's a week?
About that.
Yeah.
Probably today, 7 days.
I was staying upstairs. I was out in Fort Saskatchewan at my sister's place for Christmas, and I loved it. On Boxing Day, I had to drive back into the city to take Mrs. to work. I'm talking 8:30 a.m. Neighbor had their tree out, ready for pickup already.
Oh,
I love that shit, man. That's so funny.
I do too. I love that stuff, but I'm the exact opposite. I still have the pile of wrapping paper and boxes of the stuff that we unwrapped and stuff, like out my back door. I've missed garbage day twice. I just don't. I'll get it out there.
you can never know when garbage day is in advance.
What do you mean?
Well, it's a mystery when they come.
Or it's on the website under Edmonton Collections.
Same-
and you
same
punch
day
in
every
your
week.
Your postal code.
Website for garbage. What's next, Bag milk?
Yeah, I don't know.
A fax machine for your power.
See, the problem with my guy is he's there at like 6:30 on every Wednesday morning. And so if I don't get it out the night before, it's just not going out.
And you're very observant about your going on surroundings type things.
You know, when you get burnt by it twice already this year.
If the aliens came to Earth and they had a phaser to my head and said, Wanye, when's garbage day at Wanye Manor? I couldn't even.
Yeah, but you don't take it out.
Sure, I do.
You have roommates for that.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. But still, it's good. I suppose you're a dad. Dads know everything.
I have to.
How old until the kids are able to take it out?
I mean, when they can lift it. My 7-year-old still couldn't lift a garbage bag. If he did, he'd probably just drag it and then it would open and empty out on the driveway, and then I'd have more work. So I'll just keep doing it till he's like 10, probably.
He's like 20.
Yeah. How old's Coom anyway? Until he's Coom's age.
Until it's cute.
Coom can't be aged with conventional technology. He's not a year.
I need to spend more time with Coombs. I don't think I've spent more than 2 minutes with him. But the way you guys talk about it, it's like
As funny as
it's
they
an
get.
epic experience every
It's an
time.
adventure.
Yeah, it sounds like
It is.
Although he's headed downhill quickly. He's been in Vegas since January, and I
He was in
haven't-
Vegas for 10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
much.
see anything crazy from him.
No.
It was like, oh, look, the Bellagio fountains are nice at noon.
10-day vacation to Vegas.
Yeah.
It's like going to Australia for a month. Like JR.
Yeah.
Like
True.
the Squire.
He's in Hawaii now.
Oh my God.
It's going around.
Look at him.
But the rest of us toughs, we're left behind to man the Titanic as it craters into the bottom of the ocean floor at 0.00001 miles per hour. We're just coasting to a stop at like game 34. Well, that's enough for the 28-19 season.
What do you think?
That's about it. Just a deep
That's
sigh.
about-
Just a deep, aggressive sigh.
Have you found a way to cope? I bet on the sport. I can still watch a game. I just don't bet them to win anymore.
Does it make it more exciting?
Yeah.
I feel
well,
like I need something to be more exciting.
Well, yeah. Like I watched all of the LA game only because I had the over and they didn't make it. I watched
What
all
was
of
the over?
5.5. I had the over last night again. And the only reason I watched it till the last buzzer was because it didn't make it again.
I'm happy
And I
you're
wanted to see
watching the
it.
games, quite frankly.
Yeah, well, I honestly remember I told you guys I had to find a way to get like
Oh,
more
yeah,
invested. Like, sure, I liked watching the Oilers game last night. I sat there, everybody went to bed, and I watched the end of the game, and it was fun. But if I didn't have that money on there, I would have found something else to do. That's for sure. Even though they were winning.
Well, it's amazing how fast things can shift. We took 2 weeks off at Christmas time, /Kwanzaa, /Spanish Christmas. which
Ukrainian
is
Christmas last night.
Ukrainian
Hanukkah.
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Mm-hmm.
Finnish Christmas, which is December 28th, and
The day they win gold medals.
Christmas trees eat people.
It's Ukrainian Christmas today.
Shalom.
Is that Ukrainian?
Noted
No,
Ukrainian saying shalom.
Noted
Yeah.
Ukrainian Christmas.
I know that's not Ukrainian. I
Shalom.
thought it was funnier if I asked you that.
It was a tough one over the holiday season for Canadian fans / Team Canada fans / Oilers fans. That was quite the overtime our Canadian boys had.
You know what? To me, that was just good sports. That's great sports. Unfortunately, Canada was on the wrong side of the win. But man, That's the beauty of watching sports. They get a breakaway. Old man Bouchard, breakaway in overtime. Penalty shot. Comtois goes in, gets stopped.
Good show.
Noah Dobson has a wide open net. Stick snaps in half. Finland comes down and scores. And then a Finnish stick company
I saw that.
sends Dobson a stick saying, hey, I heard your Canadian sticks break all the time. Here's one of these. That's good sports right there.
Watching the game
good
with a
sports.
buddy. Puck comes over to the chap. Empty net. Buddy goes, yeah! Knocks his drink off the coffee table. Like, bang! Oh, goes, no! Stick shatters into dust. Goes, no! Gets up, goes to the kitchen, goes and gets a paper towel, comes back, goal. No! He's like, in like 45 seconds, my entire life just basically did a 180-degree turn.
My thing was like when you are invested into something like that, because like me and my kids watch the World Juniors like religiously. Like that was the one thing I wanted to do over the break with them.
Yeah.
Was because I loved watching as a kid.
Yeah.
And that game, we're sitting at my island and we're like stressing out. And my youngest son, who just doesn't get some things, he's like, we're winning by 1. And I'm like, yeah, so I'm like, there's a minute 50 seconds left. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. They've won it. And I'm like, oh, buddy. I said, you don't know. And at that moment, I was just like,
so it's Luke's fault.
it is Luke's fault. And me and Logan and Aaron are just like sitting there and we're like, you don't say that kind of stuff, Luke, because there's always a chance. And when they scored that tying goal, which was just awful, I literally looked at him and was like, see, they just tied it up. And I knew, I just knew they were going to win it in overtime.
This is a teachable moment.
It's that feeling, that gut feeling where you're just like, if I was standing at the sink when Luke said that and I had my bookie app open, I probably would have in-game bet on Finland.
You would take in-game
that's
bets
how
based
I felt,
on your
right when he
kids
said that.
cursing the team?
When you're a betting degenerate, you do a lot of things that are weird. You feel the signs. You get the signs. You look for weird little shit that happens. I swear, it's weird.
The other day I was driving down the street and my piston shot through the hood and I went home and bet $50 on the Detroit Pistons.
That would
And it
be
lost.
Can you think
stretch, but
Can you think of one that's been really weird that you've bet on based on God knows what you've seen?
well, I doubled down on the New England Super Bowl with Atlanta when they were way up. Like
Ooh.
Atlanta was up 38-5 or whatever the hell.
You bet on them
8-35,
coming back?
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
put
man.
because I had Atlanta to win, and I swear to God, we were sitting in Phoenix, and I was like, "This feels like a game where they come back and win." And I doubled my bet for like I hedged basically, and doubled my bet.
Wow.
New Orleans.
What were the odds of them coming back?
Oh, it was 2. Gosh, I don't remember. I really don't remember.
It was like
2.
3-21, and then they came back.
Yeah, I don't
know what the
remember.
odds
It
were.
was in the upper, like it was like I look at it the plus ways. I always have a hard time breaking that thing down.
3-21. I don't even know those odds. I'd look at that and be
27 or
like,
something
that's
like that.
March 21st.
But so like the way, so what I was doing last playoffs, when the Oilers obviously weren't in it, was I would watch the hockey game.
Oh, sorry, Chalmers, did they miss the playoffs last year?
Yeah, they
Thanks
sure
for just giving me a calendar check on that.
And so they would go, like a lot of games went into overtime, right? And so if I was watching a game that was close and the game went into overtime, you would feel who had the momentum going into overtime. And I bet you that if you just saw who had the momentum or who tied it up late, that team, I bet you it was probably about 75%. That team won overtime. Yeah.
And you were sitting there.
And you would bet it.
pennies
You
on.
would bet it in overtime. You'd bet the overtime line, regardless of what it was. Because usually it was right up to even, or else the home team would always be favored by a smidge. So
Now don't you look like quite the fool, Bagman?
Yes, I do. Yes, I don't understand.
I've lost a lot of bets. Yeah.
Are you up or down, Lifetime? Honest?
Honest? Probably down. I would
Really?
say, I would say down.
You've won more on VLTs than anyone I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, wait, I didn't know we were talking about that.
Well, all in Gambler, the gambling.
Oh,
god.
Jesus. That would take like an accountant a couple years to
When
figure
me
out.
and Chalmers had a bar together, he would come in and play the VLTs, bag milk. And I'd be like, oh, Chalmers, get out of here. He'd be like, what are you talking about? It's my bar. I'm like, yes, it's your bar. But every time you come in here, you win on the VLTs. We have to pay out. Oh, that's ridiculous. Nobody can win on these things. Then he would proceed to win on these things. And I remember one time, remember I told you I had to come back the next day?
Yeah.
You
we
like
didn't have enough money.
bankrupted the company for 12 hours. And like all the money in the till, Chalmers won like $8 million. I'm like, well, that's great. I had to go into the safe. And I'm like, well,
I didn't realize it was very short-sighted of me and my business. It was very selfish of me to come in and win all the time.
you're a very good gambler. I've gone to the casino with you many times and you always win.
Most likely on table games, I can win.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I only like blackjack. I like craps too.
But you always
I really
win.
like craps.
You always win. Vegas,
Craps is-
win.
Craps is the best. I funded like one whole Vegas trip by just playing craps at night. And my wife would roll the dice and have everybody screaming her name, and it was awesome.
What's the
best stops.
Screaming her name.
I would
remember when we went
hey,
to
when you
Vegas
get up
and
to
we were
roll 15, everybody knows your name, and then you just keep rolling, and they start chanting it.
How old were you and me and Pope and Jay went to Vegas? 20?
Yeah.
21?
I saw some of the people that we kind of ran into the other day. Yeah, at like a golf tournament. Well, like not the other day, like at the end of summer.
Really?
Golf tournament. Yeah, and it brought back those memories. So I went, but like we were like we were just 21.
Wink.
Like
otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to gamble, Bag Milk. Wink.
we went
course.
golfing like idiots.
Yeah. Oh, golfing in the middle of the day.
Yeah, that was the stupidest thing.
That was amazing.
Almost jumped our Taurus off of the. Remember we were going up the parkade.
Oh yeah.
We got to the top of the ramp and we were going really fast. And
That was like my first
Got a
road
couple
trip
feet.
though. I'd never been on an international road trip.
that was your
before
first one. Eh?
I think so. Like to another country for sure.
When you think about it, we were so naive when we went.
Oh, I'm thinking about also the first trip we went on to Mexico. That was a trip where like, what was that? We've been about 23.
Yeah.
That was 5 idiots setting off to a certain death, but through a miraculous set of miracles, we came home.
See, I
fine.
feel like we blended in on that one better. In Vegas, we were like at a piano bar every night because we couldn't go to anywhere else because we couldn't get in anywhere else
Couldn't get in
because we
anywhere.
looked like slobs.
Absolute losers.
We're wearing groggy zip ups and shit.
Everywhere we went, we're like, nope. We're like, oh man, Vegas isn't as fun as I thought it would be. Nope.
No.
You want to go to the cheapest slots in town? Yep. I remember
Yeah.
there was a pit boss missing a tooth, and you got into an argument with him on Fremont Street. It
Yeah.
was like 5 a.m. It was you and I. Remember we went and we left, then we came back in a taxi. Everybody went home, and then we went back on a solo mission because we had a score to settle. And I remember you arguing with the pit boss who was missing some teeth. And I was like, Vegas isn't as opulent as I would have thought.
I can't remember what we were arguing. Something about like my elbows or something being on the table. It was stupid.
Remember when we were up a bunch of money and we went to the Bellagio in a limo?
Mm-hmm.
That was a good time.
That was fun.
We're
Love
up like
Vegas.
we're like up 2G. We're there on the no money Bag Milk, and everybody won. We decided we were going to get a limo and we were going to go to Krispy Kreme. And we went to Krispy Kreme, and then we got out of the limo, went into a convenience store and bought Bud Lights, and basically just made the guy drive us around until our time was up. And then we walked up to the Bellagio, and I remember being like, I'm up like $2,000. I brought like $100. I have $100 to my name. And walking in there in a span of 20 minutes, everybody in our group had lost all their money, and we all left. Like we rolled up in a limo.
Yeah.
And 20 minutes later, we rolled out screwed.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a good trip.
Good trip. Great trip.
God, we were dumb.
Oh yeah, good times. But we'll come back after this real life podcast.
Have you got holes to dig, earth to pack, and roads to build? Then you need to call Japa Machinery Group. Does your equipment need a service? You can't fix stupid, but here at Japa Machinery Group, we can fix everything else. With a full range of parts to keep your equipment running smoothly. Japa Machinery Group is a family-operated and Alberta-grown business. Here to help build a bigger and better Western Canada. Give us a call or visit us at japamachinery.com. Japa Machinery Group. Join the family.
Classic Josh.
It's just so funny to know that that's an Australian dude.
Sounds like he's been smoking 4 packs of Marley's a day since birth.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah. It's the hardest accent to lose. Chalmers, we're talking about entertaining ourselves and going places and doing things. I bumped into you
Yeah.
in the outside world like normal people do.
That was actually kind of weird because I swear thought I saw you from like a distance, and then the show was about to start. So I just went in, and I should have known that you were going to be there. But then I saw you later on.
There's free
it was
tickets.
weird. It was kind of weird to see like out in an event
Yeah.
that we didn't know
no,
both
the
of
other was
us
going
were
to be
gonna
there.
at.
It was like an alternate universe where we met each other, but we didn't really know each other.
Yeah. And we kind of looked at each other like, we should have said something,
Yeah.
but we didn't. And
Why?
now-
No, because I saw you when you were waving. I didn't see you. I came in, sat down, looked over, and was like, hey,
No, yeah.
Chalmers. So we went to the Illusionists, which was like a Broadway magic show that went to the Jubilee Auditorium. And we sat one row behind each other. It was
Yes.
a pretty good show.
Yeah, it was a good show. They had some hiccups right off the bat. And it was weird because like did you watch the trailer before you went?
Yeah.
This looked like the most grandiose
Amazing.
a magic show you'd ever seen. And,
Yeah.
and like I know the Jube and it's not like huge, right? Like and there's not like they're not gonna be setting off fireworks or like pyrotechnics in that place. So I was like, okay, well, I'm looking forward to see it. Well, they really had to like
Scale back.
scale back. Yeah. And to the point where like half the time their mics didn't work.
Oh, I felt bad for them.
It was pretty weird.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Jared.
Oh,
No. Oh,
So there was this Daredevil guy, and so the one guy has a mic pack problem right off the bat.
yeah, like
no
his
big deal.
mic cuts out.
And so he comes out, he does a few tricks. He's like the futurist, he's a warm-up guy. And then the Daredevil guy comes out,
Who was great.
who was amazing.
I called him Vin Diesel because he looked like Vin Diesel.
He did it with mascara on. This guy put a lot of eye makeup on.
Hey,
And
you got to.
he
Broadway,
was jacked too.
Oh, yeah.
And so like his mic pack is just not working. And now the people behind him are like doing their thing to set up the trick. And this is usually when he tells you like what he's going to be doing and nothing. And you can just see it in his face. He's like looking to the side and nobody's coming to help him.
Now, having said that, if you're a daredevil and something's going to go wrong in your act as badly as it could go, you're about to like shoot a crossbow at one of your two hot assistants.
Yes.
Best that it's your microphone that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to compound the problem though, the guy that was just
A bad
on
day at
the
work if you're a
Futurist-
daredevil is like not a good day.
Well, I know, but don't you think this guy's like, oh my God, if this is something that we're having
Exactly.
problems with, like what else are we gonna have?
Like
problems
crossbow going to be cockeyed?
So the futurist guy who does have a working mic pack comes out and they can't figure out how to like change his mic pack over. They can't take the aux cables out and put the new ones in. And so they're fumbling in front of everybody. And they're both just like laughing at each other. And it's like
I thought they did a good job.
getting kind of
recovering,
uncomfortable, but they're kind of making the best of it. Then they just bring him out a handheld mic. And now this guy's got to like do his performance with a
Yeah.
handheld
A
mic.
mic. Like he's at karaoke at Rosie's Bar and Grill.
Yeah. And it was so, because you could tell that his act had a lot of hand stuff in it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to do it now. And so there was parts where he was like pulling the mic away from his mouth because you wouldn't hear him.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be doing
Plus, he
something.
had to do his trick,
Yeah, which was
lying on a bed of nails with only one nail remaining.
one nail.
And he's doing it while holding onto his mic, like, ooh, this hurts.
And then the lady he brought up from the stage, as he's laying on one nail, like one physical nail, right in the middle of his back, she breaks a cinder block on his stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
Now, you guys keep saying Broadway. So were they singing and dancing along with this?
No, it's just like on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
It's a Broadway
yeah.
play.
It's just magic show.
So yeah, and they brought 5 of the people. So this illusionist group is actually like, I think 8 to 12 performers. And
Okay.
so, and they send 5 off to do shows every so often.
Wow.
But
And they send them all off from a castle in the middle of the ocean.
yeah,
The magic cat.
where they all keep their
They go off
secrets.
into the night. Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. I thought it was cool.
My favorite guy was the South Korean guy who spoke no English.
The best.
And he had this card trick series where he's got like his sleeves rolled up and he's just like, this is hard to describe, obviously, because we're doing a podcast and thank God there's no video, but cards are just shooting out of his bare
Well, what he
arms.
makes you think is that he's not holding any cards, yet his sleeves are rolled up. He is not holding any cards in
No.
his hands.
Which he shows
And
you repeatedly.
consistently comes up with new decks of cards and then throws them. And is making cards disappear from everywhere.
Unbelievable.
And as he's doing this, every so often he just stops and looks to the crowd with this look of like, did I just do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can you
tell
believe
me.
that you're at a show
I'm
and a
pretty
man's
good.
making cards appear out of thin air?
It was my favorite. His facial expressions were literally worth the price of admission.
Well, I go in and I'm like having a good time, obviously, before you go to a magic show.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit down and I see you and like, you have drunk guy luck and everything's just happening all around you.
Yeah,
Right? Like you can bring booze in at the Jube, the best.
sure can.
So I'm doing my thing and then, hey, Charles, how you doing? Yeah, right on. But I kept finding everything hilarious.
Because it was all pretty funny.
And like when the mic stopped working, I'm dying laughing. And then when the Korean guy's like, ha ha, I'm dying laughing. And then I look over, like 4 seats is Edmonton media legend Bob Layton. Remember Bob Layton, Bag Milk?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Did anybody-
Layton.
I was just gonna say, could you do it?
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
you could.
That guy driving to school as young Wanye would be like, can you believe that the teachers board is being locked out of local schools? It's unbelievable. And I'd be like, motherfuck, Bob Layton. And then at the end he'd be like, I'm Bob Layton. I'm like, damn, that guy's looking out. So anyways, I'm drunk at a thing, having a good time. And 4 doors down is old Bob Layton sitting ramrod straight.
Mm-hmm.
Looks amazing. He's 400 years old. Mrs. Layton is beside him.
His hair's great.
They
hey?
look like, that American Century Gothic farmer photo.
yeah.
Where the guy's like ramrod straight and he's got his pitchfork and shit. And I don't even know if you remember the first thing that they did, but they had the audience participation thing, right?
Yes.
So it's like, get in, stand up, put your fingers out, see if you get hypnotized, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is amazing. And I look over at Bob Layton, and Bob Layton is not participating, and he's looking at me. And I was like, can Bob Layton understand my
He's like
thoughts?
judging me for doing
He
this.
was, and I was like, oh no. And I just imagined him being like, so I go to the magician show on Monday night, and I see a drunk guy. And I think to myself, why do you need to be drunk to go to the magician? I'm Bob Layton. And I was like, oh man, I feel so bad about myself.
Do you think maybe all the stories he's done just made him cynical? He sits at a magic show and
For
just wants to be
sure.
cynical. Yeah.
For sure.
Because I found myself being cynical, and I like magic, and so I could see why he was.
He wasn't having it. He didn't look miserable. He just looked like he'd been sent here from another more advanced species to monitor
Like
humans.
his wife made him go, and he was going to do whatever it took not to like show her that he was entertained.
Oh, I
by
think
it.
more over the opposite. It's like, Bob, I don't want to go to the magician. We have to go to the magicians. I'm Bob Layton.
They left me tickets. What am I gonna
my
do?
take. Yeah, they will expect my review tomorrow.
That's what I was curious about, is if he affirms that he is Bob Layton in his personal life.
Every morning.
Sir,
in
what
the
kind of
mirror.
coffee would you like? I would like a large, 1 cream, 1 sugar, because I'm Bob Layton.
Named at Starbucks.
Yeah, so it was a good show though.
Full name always at Starbucks
Always,
too.
always.
Bob Layton.
I swear I could hear.
Does he still have a platform? What is he doing?
I think he still works for Ched, doesn't he?
I think so. Right?
I think him and
Halsey's
Brian
still
Hall,
pushing
exactly.
ribs.
Him and Brian Hall are like, well,
TRs.
you're on the Don
yeah.
Cherry plan. When you check out, we'll sign you off the air.
I wonder if they're going to groom at Ched a new Bob Layton, just like CBC is with Brian Burke.
Brian
Who,
Burke.
Jesperson?
Jesperson's got to get angrier then.
Yeah, you need to have the full moral authority of every judge ever.
Yeah, can you be pump up hockey?
You can't be pump up hockey guy. It's t-shirt time.
T-shirt
No,
time,
it just doesn't
and
work.
then come onto the
I'm
air the next
Ryan
morning.
Jesperson.
And,
Young Bob Layton trying to do a giveaway. I'm at the arena tonight, and they're giving away free books. In a world where children can't afford to go to school, the Oilers Entertainment Group are giving out 40th anniversary books. What a disgrace. I'm Bob Layton. Dead silence in the arena, and everyone's like, damn.
that was a
Bob
bummer.
Layton sure is a buzzkill on the scoreboard.
Oh man, I would love to see Bob Layton now take Jesperson's job. Just one night.
T-shirt
I
time.
guess we're
one
changing then, Ryan.
Just one night. Where he's up there spinning tunes
The
with
Pizza 73 giveaway. Let's hear some noise.
Who Needs a Snack Attack?
Oh, speaking of which, did we get to this last time when we were talking about the Oil Kings game? But have you been to an Oil Kings
Yeah,
game
you're talking about the
lately?
teddy bear toss.
Yeah. Okay. So we went to another one just recently.
What are you, the biggest Oilers king?
Man, they're fun. The kids love them. Like it's just a good time. But they stopped doing my favorite thing, and that is the backwards eating thing. So
on
like,
the scoreboard. Yeah.
buddy. So like, I think before the game and like during the intermissions, they focus in on somebody who's just come down with like a big plate of food, and they just film them eating it. And then during like the second and third intermission, they do this thing called like, it's backwards eating time. And it just shows people basically them eating, but in reverse. And so they're pulling the food out of their mouth. It is the best in the thing I've ever seen. And so when we were at that Oil Kings game, we were late. And so we had a bunch of food and we were sitting down watching the first period. And my wife looks at me, she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, what's the matter? She goes, we're eating. And I'm like, holy shit. We've been like stuffing our face like chicken wings and stuff. So we started eating with like our hands in front of our face. It was hilarious, but they stopped doing it. So if anybody listens and that knows somebody who knows an answer to why they're not doing that anymore, please tell me. Please text us.
Call in.
Text.
Call in. Text
Call
us.
into the show.
Bag Milk's number is
Yeah.
780.
555.
I hope they didn't get rid of something like that because somebody complained.
Oh, that would be devastating.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
do know
a
what you
guy
mean.
who's really bummed that he just mowed down a foot long or whatever.
It's like suing them for defamation because he lost.
I have a
he was
mild
with, like,
eating
a si-
disorder, and I was disgusted watching a man eat a slice of pizza
Yeah.
backwards.
He took a Tinder date there or something, and
Yeah,
he couldn't
yeah,
seal
yeah.
the deal, and he like
Ruined it.
blamed them for it.
Ruined it. Unbelievable.
Sorry. What were we talking about before
I
that?
don't know. Internet stuff and podcasts mostly.
You guys were at the Illusionists.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a
Bob Layton.
friendly Korean man
Bob Layton.
was throwing cards around.
Yeah, throwing cards.
Was
They
he
were-
doing that thing where he was chucking cards really far?
No, so they were just falling in front of him. But without giving it away, because I don't think
I don't think they're coming back.
I
I think
ain't going.
the Korean guy, they're like, hey, you want to go back to that really cold place where none of the mic work?
You know that thing where like the magician can make it look like he's holding 2 full deck of cards all fanned out like a fan?
Mm.
Well, he would do that and then he'd like throw 2 and it would make it seem like he threw more. Because about halfway through, I'm like, man, this guy, where's he getting all these cards?
That's what I was wondering.
And when I looked at the floor, on the rug, and I think that's why they put a rug there so you can't notice the cards on the black floor. There wasn't that many cards on the floor, man.
So what am I seeing fall down?
He was throwing like one or two at a time.
Instead of like a
he would
bajillion.
open up the whole decks and then throw like one or two. And you would think like, holy shit, he like is throwing a ton of cards. And then he'd open up the decks again. And then he'd like make a couple appear and yeah, I don't know.
See, what's annoying is before I would ordinarily be like, you're full of shit. But before we started the podcast, we were talking about this.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a different card trick. And I don't want to reveal this to everybody because it's like finding out bad news about Christmas, which I also won't reveal. Yeah. But you're like, oh, you don't know how they did that? They just did this and this and this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right.
But see, the impressive part is not how the trick is set up and how it's like done. Then the guy had like the phone and a melon, right? When he cut open a melon.
Oh, that's crazy.
The fact is like,
you don't know how they did that, did you?
No.
Thank goodness.
No.
Bag milk does a trick, takes your phone, puts it in the bag, smashy smash. Oh no, my phone's broken. Go across the stage. There's a melon, cuts the melon open, boom.
And the melon's been being watched by somebody the whole time. At the very beginning, he puts it in a bag right in front of the guy, and he's like, watch that bag. Don't let anybody touch it. And then he goes back to the guy. The guy puts his iPhone in like an envelope. He puts X's on all the envelopes and then blenders them all.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, wait a minute. Anybody got a knife? And he planted a knife in the crowd for somebody to get
everything
to.
in the crowd's a plant.
And cuts open a melon, like literally cuts open a melon, and the phone's in a Ziploc bag in the melon. Wow. Pretty amazing.
See, I think the difference between me and Chalmers at a magic show is that I'm there for the wonder and the magic. And I don't want to know how any of it works. And I've had a few drinks. And I did have a few laughs. And Bob Layton's mere feet away judging me telepathically. Whereas you go to like a CAA analyst. You're like, oh, I'm here to get to the bottom of this entire investigation. Here's how that happened. That's how that was done. And then you like leave having solved the magic show.
But see, I go through progressions right off the bat. Like they were getting pissed off that we weren't clapping fast enough because I think at one point we were all just like, you know, you're in amazement and you kind of forget that you have to clap.
I think also we live in an era where there's like a Transformers movie costs $400 million.
She said that you see it online and so it's harder to impress people. But anyways,
nothing impresses me except Bob Layton.
You just love that. You probably focused more on him than the show half the time. I could tell you a trick that you probably didn't even notice.
He's a treasure.
No,
I watched every single show.
I go through like the progression of being amazed and then trying to like figure out how the hell he did that in front of me without me seeing it. And then it gets way deeper than that. And I just keep thinking about it pretty much.
See where I'm just there. I'm like, wow. And then I'm on to the next thing.
I can't stop thinking about it. That's the thing. So, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is it's not like how the setup of the trick or anything. It's the fact that they can do the trick right in front of you and you can't tell. Like they can do these things with the cards where they have it all in the deck and they don't even move it, but they obviously have to move the card from the top of the deck to the bottom of the deck or whatever, and you don't notice. That's the impressive part. How
what if I told you every magician on Earth has a portal to another dimension?
I've heard that.
I wouldn't believe it.
That's how they move the cards around.
I once went and saw David Copperfield in Vegas. So I was there. I'm like you, Wanye, in the sense that I just like, I don't care about how they're done. I just like be like, wow, this woman ruined his grand final trick.
In the crowd?
Yeah. She stood up, turned around and faced the other way and yelled out, "The people come out from over there." And everybody around us was just like, what? Fuck you.
What?
Fuck you, lady. Obviously, she had seen the show before, whatever. But yeah, she ruined it.
What did everyone do?
Everybody in my section booed her, and appropriately so. Poor
What David do?
Well, he was rattled because he's like, what's going on with
He's
the
like, sorry, what's that? I live in
there?"
a private string of islands with Claudio Schiffer.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to this woman that she sat in that show
Did he
again
keep
for another
going?
2
Oh,
hours?
yeah. He's a consummate pro.
Pro.
Of course.
Hasn't
So,
aged in
to
4
buy tickets to the show a second time, sit there for 2 hours waiting for that moment to stand up and do that. The fuck is your
To
problem?
ruin it for everybody within earshot. Unbelievable.
I'm going to merge these two stories together. Chalmers, remember when we went to Vegas and then your dad got us tickets to the magic show?
So one of my dad's really good friends I used to play in a band with was the talent coordinator at the Monte Carlo. And the act there was Lance Burton.
When you made this happen, I was like,
I didn't.
my friend Chalmers is so heavy in these streets.
My dad's
when
like-
we go to Vegas, he's hooking it up.
My dad's like, go to Monte Carlo and see if Bob Walker's there. I'm like, okay, why? He's like, maybe I'll give you tickets to the show. Next thing I know, we're standing there and we got 4 like really good tickets to Lance
And we've been
Burton.
drinking all day.
Yeah.
And we're very young.
Yeah.
And we went in and we're like, can we bring drinks in? And your dad's buddy's like, of course, it's Vegas.
You kidding? You can take them anywhere.
And you, like 2 rows back, were like, every time they do a trick, you're like, whoa! And then to the point that the magician's like looking over at Chalmers. Lance
No.
Burton. Yeah, some of the assistants were.
I think we maybe remember that differently.
No. I remember you tripping out over every single thing.
Because I was amazed. And drunk.
And drunk.
And 20.
We'd already been in a
not
pool
21.
party that day. We were in no state to see Lance Burton.
No, we weren't.
That was good how those stories merged.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's take a
Magic
break.
stories, you know?
Amazing. Real life podcast. Back after this magic.
SumoJerky.com. You've been through the gas station. You've seen all the flavors, teriyaki, black pepper, maybe extra hot, sweet chili. That's about as exotic as it gets. But if you subscribe to Sumo Jerky at SumoJerky.com, check them out online, enter your preferences. They source out the finest small batch handcrafted maw and paw jerky from all over the world. They have all your favorite flavors, but it's high quality handcrafted versions of your favorite flavors, and they get exotic as well. Exotic jerky from exotic animals, or play it straight and stick with beef. Enter your preferences at SumoJerky.com. It shows up once a month. Deliver it as a gift if you like. Have it sent to your work for a little pick-me-up during the day. SumoJerky.com. Follow them on Instagram at SumoJerky for pictures of their meat, or sign up for the service yourself. SumoJerky.com. Once a month, meat delivered right to your door. It's the home delivery service you didn't realize you need until it started showing up. My favorite day of the month is Sumo Jerky Delivery Day. SumoJerky.com to get started.
We're back. Real life podcast. Powered by Sumo Jerky. Delicious. Had a big month. You want to hear my story about At God?
Oh, yes, I am looking forward to the follow-up with At God.
You weren't here, Chalmers, and you don't listen to the podcast, which I respect. Sumo Jerky, we're doing great things online. We're selling beef jerky subscriptions, very delicious, all over the U.S.
I saw your file picture or the orders you had to fill
Oh,
the other day. I saw that.
doing all
I
right,
liked
eh?
it.
Yeah, one day.
You're
soon.
welcome.
No big deal. Yeah. It's a going concern. It's growing. Anyways, I'm doing work with influencers, and I ended up doing a sponsored post with At God. 2 million followers who reached. Hold on. Don't look yet.
I can't search them?
Just hold on.
All right.
It's real.
If you search them, you'll fast forward to the end of the story.
Okay. I'll stand up and say, the people come from here.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if your name's really one yet. So I'm doing some influencer posts. I did maybe 8. And people from 100,000 followers up to 1.4 million. And I get into a fight with the guy that I'm working with, this meme lord, because I'm real hard to deal with sometimes if I'm not getting performance. Which brings me to my podcast studio construction project, but that we'll talk about that in a minute. And
Do we have to?
yeah, oh yeah. And so I'm like, man, screw this influencer. I'm going to work with other people. And immediately, 5 minutes later, At God DM'd me on Instagram. Hey, saw you're doing sponsored posts. Want to do a sponsored post? And I was like, holy man.
Literally.
At God's reaching out. It's a sign if ever there was one. So I have a conversation with At God, who's a very wonderful fellow. Nice
Okay.
guy, doing great stuff. And he's like, yeah, I work with a bunch of influencers and you pay us and we'll do the posts. And blah, blah.
Did you guys talk over the phone?
No, DM'd on Insta.
Oh.
You know, like you do with girls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you really At God? And he's like, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, didn't say no. But he's like, hey, so I'm working with these people, blah, blah, blah. We do a deal. I wire At God money. And then Christmas Day happens. Right. And so
His
we're
biggest day, in fact.
Yeah, exactly. His son's birthday. He's got shit to do. He doesn't message me. I'm like, it's fine. He's busy. Mrs. God and him got to go get presents. It's the Christmas season. You know, it's busy. And I go on the 28th. I'm like, oh, I wonder what happened to At God, because we're going to do all these ads. And I go dark in between Christmas and New Year's because I don't care and the world can end.
Mm-hmm.
His account got deleted. And he was like, yeah, and I run these other accounts too. And they got deleted too. And so all of At God's accounts got deleted over Christmas. And now, first of all, who deletes At God, especially during the holidays?
So, yeah.
Zuckerberg's like, I'm the new At God. But anyways, he's gone.
I can't believe you wired him enough money to retire.
Well, I guess he didn't need much, but yeah. And so I'm like, well, what the deuce? There's no way he went to the trouble of getting 3 million followers just to scam me out of a few bounce, right? And as a guy whose businesses are always having some sort of crisis, I understand, if your account gets deleted, doing the deal with the beef jerky company isn't your biggest priority. Mm-hmm. So I have his email address that I PayPal'd all this money to, and I emailed my money lady. I'm like, can we see if we can call that transaction back? Being all, hopeful around the holidays. And she's like, no, they've accepted the money. Why is there a problem? I don't have the heart to tell her At God ripped me off. I'm like, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Continue on. So I emailed the email address associated with the PayPal and haven't heard back.
Since. So there's
So you got to have high hopes. You got to know.
Is this the one that was they actually at God, and
Yeah.
he would like he would respond to people very funny when they would say like,
Are you God?
no, but like when somebody would thank God for something, and then he'd be like,
Oh, that's Twitter. This dude's on Insta.
oh,
But yes, there is a God account that will, like, when people thank him for like winning an Oscar and stuff.
what was this guy's main thing? Like, was it just memes? He was
Just memes. And he had a whole bunch of them. And it was like, this one's for this demo and this one's for that demo. And we're part of a super Avengers collective of people who do memes for money. And I was like, God damn, I've hit the mother load. And he said, yes, of course. My damn.
Okay, so another question. How did he see that you were doing an influencer thing with somebody else? Because they had posted it, and he obviously just saw it.
So like when you
Okay.
posted with one influencer and like
Then
it's
they
a
all
big
come
one,
flock?
then they're like, hey, are you legit?
This guy's
And the
obviously
answer
spending
is,
money?
yeah.
Huh.
So there's lots of Instagram accounts out there that are minting coin, right? Like it's actually well-priced ads in terms of the reach you get for the spend.
Oh yeah.
And Sumo Jerky basically is an American operation. We spend the money on Google and the Facebooks, and it's all in the States, and we sell them to people in the southern US. So hitting up some of these big-ass accounts. And so it's a funny world, though, because like unless you're a fellow meme lord, these guys get so many DMs that they'll never look at their DMs.
Yeah.
Ever. Because there's 2 jillion messages about all sorts of insanity. Bag Milk knows this with running nation stuff.
Yeah, we get a lot of weird DMs, and that's a fraction of the size.
So you got to have like the secret handshake to get in with these guys to be considered credible.
Mhm.
So I just can't figure out what happened to At God.
At God.
No way At God rips you off.
Maybe someone hacked and stole his account because it's a premium name. I heard a whole podcast about
Can't you
it.
just change it too? Can't you take your followers? Like I swear I've had times where I've followed something and then like the next day it's a different name.
You can
but then
change
you
it.
go into their history and you're like, well, I didn't follow this person. You go into their history and you realize, well, you did like 2 pictures ago. It's something that you saw, but it was a different account.
Yeah, you can change your name as long as the new name isn't taken.
Mm. That happened to me with at Satan. I was following Satan.
What happened to Satan?
He changed his name to Masturbate
On Insta?
on Insta. Yeah.
That was a God account.
Was it? It makes sense that God and Satan are
Hold
working
the
together.
phone. At God and at Satan were the same person on Instagram?
Makes sense they're working together.
I think this
Nobody would
actually
see it coming.
either is God or Satan. I'm creeped out, Chalmers. This
Yeah,
reminds me
I
when I
don't
was
like
sitting near
this.
Bob Layton.
Influencers.
Maybe it's Bob Layton.
That's it.
You guys want to push your jerky? I'm Bob Layton.
There are people out there selling packages of carcinogenic snacks. You shouldn't eat smoked anything. I'm Bob Layton. You know, you might be right. Well,
I
damn.
don't think he's right.
But it doesn't make sense, though, that a guy with that many followers over that many accounts would just disappear.
No. It just reminds me of Meow Post.
Yeah.
Man, you got to do way worse stuff than I'm sure he was doing to get kicked off.
Wow, and that's the thing is there's a million
million
reasons. I saw my friend Erin over Christmas, and she goes, I hate your podcast. And I said, thank you for listening. And she said, I really hate your podcast when you talk about business because no one cares.
Oh.
And she hit me to my core, but I don't care. This is real life, and I want to talk about it. It makes zero sense to me that somebody who'd put that much time and effort into something would have it deleted because their end game was to get an ad contract they couldn't fulfill.
Yeah.
Me and Bag Milk are in the cat business. You know about this?
I do know about this. It's amazingly weird.
Oh, yeah.
Super weird.
Super weird.
Super
One of the
weird.
weirdest things we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
We bought a website called meowpost.me, correct?
That's right.
What's the ME mean?
Me.
What?
And we also have .com, but I think there's like a big search engine penalty on it right now.
There's a .co as well.
.co. .com's got a clapped with a summer thing.
I'm just not totally sure you
probably.
answered my question as to
What's that?
what .me means.
What is .me?
No, I
have
know
no
it's
idea.
.me,
Just
but
a
like,
suffix. I
It's,
don't know.
yes, you can get custom ones. You can get like
oh,
It could be the government. It's not
I thought a
meowpost.gov.
country was. Anyway,
Most of them are.
it's not really important, I guess.
Because .tv was some weird island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and they're like the first people to get the new year. And that everybody in the island sold off .tv to like TV shows, and they
So-
briefly got rich.
Where would I find this cat meow? What is it?
Meow post.
Meow.
.me. But really what you're doing is you're looking for our Facebook groups.
Oh,
Yes.
Because the real beauty of the business is the fact that it's got these giant Facebook groups. And one is like 500,000 Bag Milk and one's 400,000.
Yeah, roughly.
So this guy was running Meow Post. Aaron, you're like, I told this asshole not to talk about business. And guess
especially not the
what?
weirdest.
Now we're talking
one he
about cat
has.
business.
If you're calling in for the Kajula trade, sorry.
Oh my god, is it the one with this? Is it this? It? The cat.
Oh yeah, you betcha. Yeah.
How many thousands of followers?
200 and something?
239,197.
Boom.
Wait.
Just
that's
went up by one.
including the three people that they name in the beginning, which are you,
Yeah.
Josh Brown, and Graham.
There we go.
Oh my God.
So that guy was running his little enterprise and writing all the articles about cats, which is actually very interesting. It's no different than The Nation. Just what do you like? If you like Oilers hockey, well, sorry about the last 13 years, except one. If you like cats, you might like the Meow Post. But it got deleted. So he was cruising along and he had like 1.6 million followers, and one had 100,000, one had 500,000, and that doesn't add up to 1.6. And Facebook just went boop, and away went his account. And like this guy had like, well, we'll just say he was very, very upset and had a little bit of a life event, like a breakdown of sort. Because when you go from making a lot of money every month with 1 million followers to no followers with no money, generally speaking, it's like someone just came in and ripped your business out of your hands. It'd be like if someone came along and stole a house you were building right from underneath you.
Took it.
That would
See
be
ya.
good.
So I'm assuming at God right now is face down on a beach somewhere. If he lives on a beach with a bottle of tequila somewhere at his side, and he's trying to figure out how to rebound from his life. And hopefully he doesn't take my money that I wired to him as his seed money to create At God again 2, which will be a sequel to At God and very, very good.
There is a lot of comments on here.
Man,
These people
talking
are
cats?
passionate about cats, man.
It
thing
is
is
wild.
huge.
It is wild. People love cats, man.
Million visitors a month, Chalmers.
They just want you to know that I think it's wonderful, as Jesse Swabby says.
Some of the comments in
I
the
think
inbox,
it's
though,
wonderful.
Bag Milk and I had to stop looking because 99% of people, generally older ladies, nice grandma types, they want to say good job, but the angry grandmas,
Yeah.
that's where you got to watch out.
Angry grandmas, they judge you.
If you put a picture, like if you put a video up or something of a cat like falling,
Water balloon hitting
people
a kitten.
go like, "Oh, that cat might have
Water
got
balloon
hurt.
hitting a
I
kitten,
don't want to see
Chalmers.
that."
Died.
You could
for-
have the nicest video of a cat doing, like, bringing a child a gift, and you will still get a split reaction on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't think you should give gifts to people that have corners. You can poke an eye out.
Exactly.
I'm Bob Layton.
hmm
That's hilarious.
Or like you'll just post a video of something like, this cat did this, and then you'll get angry messages. I demand to know what happened to this cat 6 months later. I'm like,
I have an orange
no
cat. Is
idea.
your orange cat's
Yeah,
named
could-
Mr. Snuggles?
Can we please get an update on that?
Seriously.
We have had that.
That bald Siamese.
Where would
twin?
I find that cat?
where it's like, my cat looks a lot like that cat. Do you think they came from the same place? Yes.
At
Yeah.
God?
Another cat.
Yes,
you
they
just
did.
right. Yes, they're brother and sister.
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's a fact. Heaven for, there's no way that I've ever seen two cats look alike if they are not from the same litter.
No, never.
My Facebook is unusable as a result of Meow Post and my business's ventures down in Mexico. Because I log in, it's like, you have 480 new messages. I'm like, ooh, all my friends. It's like, hey, what up with that cat with a water balloon? Hola, como este, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, bye. Click.
okay, enough.
I'm out, face Beezy.
To your comment, Wanye, right now on my Facebook, I have 1,200 notifications.
Yeah.
From nation stuff / cat stuff / hockey fight stuff / whatever.
Who knew
Remember
it?
when Facebook deleted you off of Facebook because of Meow
Yes,
Post?
I was dead temporarily.
Because of Meow Post having some exciting hackery, which I won't bore you to death with. They erased Bag Milk's real life.
Yeah, so they got rid of me. So I had to send Zuck, I assume he looked at it personally,
Yeah.
a selfie of me holding an ID, just being like, no, I'm alive.
Like a hostage.
And then I got an answer back from Facebook, like tech. They're like, oh, sorry about that. Our mistake. We'll make sure to let people know you're alive. I'm like, great, thanks. Great.
Cool,
thank you.
man. Damage is done though.
At secret name is alive.
Yeah.
Like
Welcome back. Welcome back.
the dark, dark place out
But
there.
it's a weird thing though, man, to have your Facebook erased like that. It's just like,
Do you know how to do that? Can you just erase mine for me?
yes. But personally, like, I don't care that they got rid of it. But like for work purposes, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But it's just wild how just, you know what I mean? Just, I don't know why they thought I was dead.
It's
but they
funny
did.
because we had an emergency meeting in here. It's like, hey, Facebook deleted me. I'm completely off. Oh, shit. I'm the moderator of everything. All right, well, you log in as me then, and you can be me now on Facebook, and I won't go on. And then that was the emergency baton throw.
guess-
Then 2 days later, you were back. You took it like a champ.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, personally, I don't give a shit about Facebook. If it wasn't for work, I wouldn't have one. But like, to just be like, now you don't have one.
I just feel like most people have no idea how much that would be a problem. Because
Oh,
I really
totally.
don't. I'm sitting here going like, Oh, fuck, doesn't matter if you don't have it for like a day or two or something. But if you do everything through there,
Yeah. Well, we do a lot of work stuff. And then even just
people
like the
need their
weird
cat
things.
videos, man.
My thing down in
We need the cat
Mexico,
videos.
all of our customer service is Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. That's
Holy
it.
shit.
We've never received an email in the history of the business. If our Facebook Messenger went down, that would be muy bad, as we say.
That would be
We
really
don't
bad.
say
Do you have a backup?
Well, you can, but it just depends on what happens, right? Like if Facebook goes, oh, we're going to erase your corporate account. All our customers are like, okay, where did we go? Yeah. Well, let's take a break. We'll be back after this real life podcast.
Alberta is where you find hard-working hands, where prairie-grown rye meets mountain spring water, where we pull dragons from the ground, and we choose Rig Hand Distillery. Vodka, whiskey, gin, and more. Rig Hand is made from Alberta-grown ingredients, locally distilled and distributed. It's a bottle of Alberta. Ask for award-winning Rig Hand in your liquor store and visit righanddistillery.com.
Damn.
Rick Hand Distilleries. Shout out to you. I need Brum. Hook me up.
You already drank all your victory brums for the year?
No, you know what? And then on that losing streak, I'm just looking at my bottle. It's not moving at all. I was on a nice run here where I thought I was going to be out of this Brum by New Year's. No. A delicious one last night though, Chalmers. Brumski. Delightful.
What's
for you.
that? What's the difference?
Just their beet rum. Little beet rum and Coke. It's
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
So you don't follow the internet, which I appreciate. But when the Oilers lose, Bag
No, no,
Milk
no.
eats beets.
I know what he does. I just,
Oh.
when he says the Brum ski, I didn't know if the ski meant like that he did something different to it.
No.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know if you drank your Brum
Out of a
just
ski?
with some ice or like neat or with some Coke.
Make a little shoot.
I've done shots of it before.
Yeah.
Not a shooter rum. Well, first of all, I don't like taking rum shots in the first place.
I mean, I don't think there is a shooter.
I don't know if anybody does, but not for me. Not for me. Yeah, add a little Coke in there, a little Pepsi, then you have yourself a good time. You have a nice little delicious highball, if you will.
Speaking of being intoxicated, Bag Milk, do you
Go ahead.
remember when we went for Donairs?
Vaguely. I mean, kind of. I know we were together.
We've had a lot of actual real life since the last real life podcast. Go to the game. What was that, Vancouver game?
Vancouver, yeah, it was that last Thursday.
Lose.
Terrible.
Go to the Ford Hall. Me and one other person decide to have a post-game losing beer. Have a few drinks. Decide the DJ sucks. The food truck can stuff it. Leave. Walking down the stairs, run into Towel Boy on his 40th birthday party.
Yep.
You don't go on Twitter, Chalmers, which I respect, but Towel Boy is one of our bestest friends of all time. He's there. Travis Dakin's there. At Eric Johnson's there. Mrs. Towel Boy's there. Mrs. Dakin is not there.
Ms. Dakin was there.
Was she?
Yep.
Oh dear, I didn't even say hi. I was a tornado. Bag Milk's there.
Drunk
Next
as
thing you
man
know,
alive.
we're at the Pint.
Yep. You order a lot of jack shots.
I show everybody OG shooter status. Chalmers, you've been there for these. You know how we do. Order a tray of shots. Nobody wants any of them. So I'm like,
That's
no
the new
problem.
thing, man.
I'll
Nobody-
just start drinking these by myself. But I'll like have time between them and sip them. I'm a sipping jacks.
Pacific Jack.
Sorry, and they were all Jack Daniels?
Every last one.
God, no wonder nobody wanted it.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the problem. Well, and also that game was so bad.
Yeah.
The Oilers allowed 4 goals on 6 shots in the first period. Terrible. So what happened was our crew, we're all sitting together right near a beer vendor right behind us. So the worse the Oilers played, the drunker we got. So by the time I saw you at the Pint, I was wrecked. And that was not part of the plan. So I'm politely taking one shot of Jack, and then all of a sudden you get that like saliva floating back into your mouth. I'm like,
Hot
Call
I
that
gotta
the
go.
sweet Jack
Hot tub
kickback.
mouth.
oh, oh.
The jets turn on. I call it hot tub mouth.
Oh, hot tub.
All the, because of hot water.
You're trying to swallow your own spit to make
Hot
sure you're not
tub.
ralphing all over the pint.
Big time.
Oh,
You can puke in our bathrooms.
Filth.
We don't mind. So then the night's starting to get a little bit blurrier, and we go to get Donairs. And that's when my memory shuts it down for the night and says, good night, sweet prince. You take it from here. You don't need to remember anything after
Let's
this.
just let instinct kick in.
yeah, it
kick in.
gets real patchy from there too. I remember having a donair. I remember looking down on my walk. So, long story short, some dude stole my cab. Whatever, fine. So I'm going to go to the Pint and I'm going to grab another cab. Jump into the cab and the guy's like, you're wasted. I say, yes, that's why I'm in the cab. He's like, $75 deposit to get you home. And I live in the West End. So I'm like, fuck you. Go crash this thing. I'm getting an Uber.
Savage.
So I jump out, look at the Uber, but they're on a 4 times rate at like 2 a.m. or whatever.
Savage.
So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to walk down the road until I A, find another cab, B, the rate drops. Problem solved. The answer was 9 kilometers down the road is when when the rate dropped. I almost made it from the Pint downtown to 142nd Street before I jumped in an Uber.
I wake up in the morning, mind wiped clean, call my buddy. How's the rest of the night? Yeah, good. What do you remember? I remember getting donaires. Yeah. Do you remember when someone tried to steal Bag Milk's taxi? I'm like, and I'm just like the Homer Simpson, like scene missing, dancing around a maypole. Like, no, I don't remember that. You guys were you were waiting for a taxi. You were both standing there. Neither of you were talking, which is how we do. You go to get into a taxi. A bunch of chumps come and like push you out of the way and get into your taxi. And apparently I started yelling and chased the taxi down the street. And this guy was like hanging out the window, giving me the double finger. And then the red light hit. And then I was like chasing after the cab still. It's like right at the Rexall, like right by the dinner place. They just turned right and like went away. My friend's like, because you were being so crazy that the taxi driver wanted
like,
to get away
we're
from
turning
you.
right here, boys. We're not going our regular route.
And I was like,
crazy guy.
yeah. Okay.
Good running.
Well, you gotta get your
That was the
fitness in.
state
Gotta
we
get
were
your
in.
steps in.
It was ugly.
I don't know what's going on lately. I think that like
Oilers are losing, and and we're all getting really drunk.
that I haven't had any problems at the Pint in years. And the last 2 times I went there, some dirt squirrels tried to make a move on me, and I had to step up.
Oh, the guy missing teeth.
That's what I'm saying. Last time.
People are unhappy.
Follow up on that story, by the way. I thought that it was Drake Kajula for about 5 minutes. 'Cause I had a vague memory of the guy with no teeth telling me to whatever in the Pint, and then you know how that goes. But then the next night I was watching TV and they showed Drake Kajula's team picture, and like my brain started to do like the FBI analysis of photos to see if we have a match. And I'm like, you know what? And then I'm thinking to myself, what if I did drunkenly tell off Drake Kajula? But then I texted Rick, from the Pint, and he was like, no, Drake Kajula wasn't here. You're just talking to some guy missing a tooth.
Well, he gone now, so
Oh yeah.
I think the problem is that night specifically, I drank as much as I used to could, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had that many drinks in a long time, especially crack beers from the arena. By the time we got back to the Pint, oh boy, or even in the limo, I forgot we were in a limo.
Oh.
Didn't even know we were in a limo.
Clearly you did too.
No, I knew we were in a limo. Oh, you forgot about, I thought when you were in the limo, you didn't know we were in a limo.
No, next day I was just like, how do we get back to the Pint anyway?
Limo.
They're like, are you kidding? We were in a limo.
Yeah.
Send picture. I'm like, oh yeah, there I am.
How are we looking in those photos?
Oh, sloppy,
Yeah,
buddy.
I
Like
imagine.
everybody's got one eye open kind of thing. Like it was a greasy night.
It was
I
so
saw a
good.
picture of that. It was a packed house in that limo too, eh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Nation limo.
Yeah, Nation Limo was so
We
great.
got to get it back.
Man, that was awesome.
Do you remember the Nation limo, Chalmers?
Yeah, I went in it a couple times.
The best.
I think we took it to a concert once.
Oh, that was a different limo. That was a limo that was a different
Oh.
thing.
Well,
That
I
was
still
when we went to
remember the Nation
Kanye.
limo.
That was the Stretch Hummer limo.
Oh yeah,
That was cool.
that was cool. Limo.
But Jer,
Stupid Jer.
no, this was the Nation limo was like a deal we had with Labatt and the Pint.
Yeah, and you had a small car, but then it turned into an SUV limo, did it not?
We had an SUV. Yeah, we wrapped it, and we have all this awesome audio with Rod Phillips. We took him to a sound studio. It's like, good evening, Oilers Nation. Welcome to the Nation limo, and like all this awesome shit.
Oh, played
And
inside.
we're like, oh, this is the best. And then you'd take it to the old arena. And you'd get out of the arena and I felt like Michael Jackson and Prince
Mhm.
had a more famous cousin. And I would get out of the limo and moonwalk into the arena and look out, everybody.
It was great too because you had time for maybe a couple of beers
Yeah.
by the time you got to
Which were
Rexall.
free.
Oh, heck yeah.
Free
We
beers.
got in and there was a case of beer free.
Yeah, on ice.
Yeah. And we did some deal. Was it independent in one of the stereo companies in town? Can't remember who.
Yeah.
Apologies.
They did it up.
Ton of free like subwoofers and different things. And then the guy who owned the limo company sold the whole company.
So
And the people didn't want to take it from Pint downtown to the arena. And Pint's like, well, you can just do it from the south side Pint. We're like, no, only downtown Pint.
yeah.
So the Nation limo got sold and went away. That's the only step backwards we've had other than the actual team in 13 years.
Yeah. R.I.P. Nation Limo. That was so good.
We'll get it back.
Fantastic.
But it was,
So where it's
it was
at
a
now?
throwback to the Nation limo. I felt
was
that
a
night. I was
throwback.
like, wow, we fell back in time.
Yeah. It's always fun to end up in a limo. Even if
Oh,
you don't
it's always
remember
fun.
being there.
It's always fun to end up in a limo.
amazing. I feel like I was at my grad.
Yeah.
Best.
The best.
The best grad.
I think we were all dressed up and sad because the Oilers, just like grad. Yeah.
I remember one time in high school, it was like a grade 11, and we had like some special DJ came to DJ the dance. And every single kid at our school was in the cafeteria watching an Oilers playoff game. And it was the one where Smitty scored the clapper. I think it was 1-0 in OT. He went 5-hole. Remember that game, Bag Milk?
Of course.
And the whole school was in watching one little TV in our
How
cafeteria.
the hell do you guys remember that?
And everyone went bananas. And the DJ was like, where am I? Like, why doesn't anyone care about my wicked DJ skills? And everybody was in the cafeteria watching Smitty with a clapper.
What a time.
All I remember is Oilers hockey. There's no room for anything else.
Yeah, I wish I remembered like useful things, but I can remember playoff games from the 2000s.
The one where all he has to say is Ryan Smith scored on a clapper, and you're like, yeah, I know exactly what it was.
Remember, we are the Oilers Nation guys.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we've never seen a human woman nation.
Well,
I
surprisingly,
can't speak for
you're the Oilers
myself,
Nation
then.
guys, but what? Have we even talked about the Oilers today?
Well, you know, when you're, it's like if you went to the illusionist and they didn't do any magic.
I know.
It's a trickless magician. That's what this whole podcast is.
Yeah.
The trickless, can we call it the Trickless Magician?
Oh, yes.
Call it whatever you
absolutely.
want.
Yes.
Trickless Magician.
The Trickless
that's
Magician.
really good
All right, that's going up.
because it makes sense.
It makes sense. And then we can put some photos of magic on the IG. Going poorly. Like the Oilers season.
Watch me cut this woman in half. Oh my God, she's dead.
Oh, no.
Oopsie doopsie, here come the Oilers. You know, I kind of want to give people a break from, if you're listening to this, 12 people, high likelihood all 12 people are familiar with the fact the Oilers are not doing well for the last 8 games.
I'll bet you some of them have checked out, to be honest.
Nope.
Oh, come on.
No.
Well, actually, what I want to talk about with the Oilers is not necessarily the team itself. You said you checked out of social media on Saturday. I find that interesting.
Oh, man. Because I was seeing stuff like, Cates is worse than Pocklington. Like, do you remember Peter Pocklington, you dipshit? The guy who would be on the news every other day being like, I've sold the team to Atlanta, to Coca-Cola. And they're going to be called the Atlanta Coca-Colas. I remember that press conference. I remember when he sold Gretzky for $15 million and Jimmy Dam Carson.
I do remember that.
Do not tell me Daryl Cates is worse than Peter Pocklington. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And then I got looped into some convo where a guy was telling off Gregor. And he just kept telling him off and telling him off and telling
Like
him off.
on social media?
Yeah, and I'd be like, oh, I got some messages. I'll just loop in here to see if there's any Miley Cyrus news. Telling off Gregor, Pocklington and Cates. And I said to myself, you know what? I don't need this shit. It's the holidays, even though it wasn't Chalmers, but until your wrapping paper's in the garbage can, I can still consider it the holidays. Checked out.
Merry
man.
Christmas, March 1st.
I'm out. That's what I said to myself. Bag Milk, you never check out?
Yeah, I do. But I just kind of like, I'll do the thing where I don't say anything and I'm just out. I like guys like Gregor in the sense where you saw him fighting with, or somebody fighting with him. I like when guys like Gregor give it right back.
Oh, Gregor's the best.
He loves mixing it up on Twitter.
How about Gregor's press conference with Chia?
Oh, wow.
You see this, Chalmers? You don't follow the Oilers. I respect that.
No, but he has been. You know what I've noticed in our group text that people send a lot of stuff that Gregor writes. He's been a lot harder on the team lately, and it's nice to see.
I was talking to him on the phone today, you know, like friends.
Oh, you guys are best friends.
And I'm like, Gregor, you are holding Chia to account. And he doesn't listen to this or the radios. And I respect that. So he won't know. But he was like, buddy, someone's got to do something about this. And like, Gregor's a good dude, man.
Well, you know what
So
was
what was the
interesting to me?
press con?
So the Oilers had just traded Drake Kajula to Chicago for Brandon Manning. Healthy scratch last night, by the way. Also traded Chris Weidman in a third to Florida for Petrovic. Next day, Chia holds a press conference to recap the trades. And Gregor starts off the whole thing by throwing a heater down Broadway.
It's like watching Trump square off with the press in the States.
Yeah. So Gregor just goes, can you tell me why
Can you say
you...
it in the Gregor voice, please?
Oh, buddy. He's like, buddy, you tell me why Brandon Manning is better than Kevin Gravel. Here are the numbers to back up my point. Go. And Chiarelli was just like raging, went full rage mode. Question 1. This is how this is going to go. And Gregor's just like, all right, whatever. And then here's another one right at you. It didn't stop. Gregor was throwing fire.
Good for him.
Where are the goals going to come from, Peter? That was my favorite one.
Is that
He was just
where the
talking
goal's
about,
gonna come from?
Decimated secondary scoring. Asked him right to his face, where are the goals going to come from, Peter? And then when I asked him about it today, he was just like, someone's got to do it.
Because to me, that article showed that they read our website. And I'll tell you why. Chiarelli was prepared for Gregor's Gravel question because that morning, first thing that morning, Gregor had an article went up that started trending on Google News. This thing erupted. easily the top viewed article of this year, no doubt.
Of 2019 or 2018?
Or sorry, 2018.
Damn, because 2019, that's not that impressive.
No. So yeah, 2018 easily most viewed article of the year. And part of it was about how Kevin Gravel is a better hockey player overall than Brandon Manning, who they just acquired for, who is 3 times the cost. That's Gregor's first question. And Greg and Shirelli already had an answer locked in. So that tells me that Mr. Chia Pete saw that article, because how could you not? It was everywhere.
No, hold on. What just happened?
He just wanted Shirelli. We're talking about Shirelli. He wanted to hear the Yale fight song.
The Yale fight song. I thought he was playing us off like at the Oscars.
He does that sometimes on Owen Radio. So good.
It wouldn't be smart for him to not be prepared for the questions that were coming.
Yeah.
And
he was like, he knew this specific question was coming.
Without having to listen to a 5-hour show the night before.
Yeah. Because Gregor threw some heat first thing in the morning.
Best way.
The title of the article I'm looking at right now is Peter Shirelli has done the impossible. He's made the Oilers worse.
So this is hell. On the one hand, Wanye, the Oilers website that you boys start up in your underwear in 2007 works really good. And it's got a bunch of cousins. But on the other hand, all you're doing is documenting your sweet, slow decline into your actual hell.
It is, right?
I need to ask you a question about last night when Craig McTavish was on with Ron McLean.
Go ahead.
And so what exactly does Craig McTavish do?
He's around.
He's like the ambassador of keeping it real or something like that.
Oh, he kept it real.
What did he pretend like I didn't watch it because I didn't.
Okay, so Ron McLean basically says, so the boys aren't very. They're not. I don't know. They have no energy. They don't look like they're playing very hard. What do you think about it? And he's like, well, I was told that the first 2 periods in LA weren't very good. I watched the third and it seemed fine. But
that's what he said.
I didn't see the first 2 periods and I was like, holy shit.
Oh.
And I was like, what?
Mac T.
Like, you're getting a paycheck from the team? I watched more of the game than you did.
Well, you were just betting on the over.
Yeah, and it didn't make it.
See, I wonder if Mac T walks around the office, because he got the boot right after the McDavid lottery.
Mm-hmm.
Shirelli came in, Mac T, you're bumped up to the ambassador of Netflix and chill or whatever. There's no way he doesn't walk around that office and being like, I could have screwed up this bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw another reason I got off Twitter on Saturday. People calling for the reinstatement of Kevin Lowe as GM.
I've seen that a lot.
Fondly remembering 06 when he picked up Pekka and Pronger and a younger Wanye was on a houseboat. I think you were there too, Chalmers.
I'd never been on a houseboat before.
Oh, right there. In my mind you were. And we had some Jack. You can't call for the return of Kevin Lowe.
It's we're in a weird spot. People have hated Kevin Lowe for so long, and yet here we are asking for him to come back behind the GM's box or GM's desk. Unbelievable.
I read a book over Christmas. Thank you.
Braggart.
Nice. Yeah. A real one too, with words, the whole
Wow.
thing. About Trump's presidency.
Jeez.
And I read most of it after an Oiler loss.
Oiler
You just
lost.
couldn't
You
be
rage
depressed
reading
enough?
about Trump.
I did. What's that?
You weren't depressed enough?
So the next day I was like, what am I going to do? All the joy's gone. I'm going to read about the worst modern day president. And I was reading it, and it's just basically like everybody in the Trump White House is working on their own agenda. Ivanka is like a different cabinet post than anyone's ever heard of before.
They just made a job.
And
of
she
her.
can go into any meeting she wants, and she pisses off generals. And Jared Kushner is standing around like a Victorian ghost because he looks like he was born in 1810. And Trump's going around doing whatever. And I just kept going back to, is this what the Oilers are like behind closed doors? Like Kevin Lowe walks around like Ivanka Trump, knowing he looks fine as hell. And he can't get fired. And then Mac T's mad.
You ask him what's going on with the team, and they say, "Oh, I didn't really watch the game. I'm not."
Like,
I don't know.
What the fuck are you talking about? You didn't watch a game, Mac T. I love you, Mac T.
He just doesn't have time for it. We've got better things to do, I guess.
It's like when Paul Coffey came back. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
no.
He's a skills coach.
He did
something.
they brought him back at like February of last year.
Yeah, Bernie Nichols is going to be the new skills coach, and then Peter Klima was going to be after him.
And I talked to some
Bernie.
dude who talked to some dude, and he was like, Paul Coffey was like, I don't know why they want me back. I have so much shit to do because I own all these car dealerships, and the check cashed, and he showed up. And I remember because everybody was like, Paul Coffey's here. He's going to save us. It's so sad to watch.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember who they're talking to, but there's basically like, well, Paul's going to like be in touch with us on the phone.
Oh,
And he'll be in touch and he'll be watching things. Like, man, This is going real poor.
I'd love to know what the total float, the total nut is on that management team, you know? Because they've got
like
guys
the way
with
they're
jobs
hiring
and jobs
people,
and
you
jobs.
guys should just go apply for jobs there.
That's what I'm saying, man. I got ideas.
I could be the Secretary of Defense, Donald.
There's so many things.
I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Do you know how many followers I have on Instagram? Not many.
Not many.
I got deleted. I'm at God. Let's do best and worst. Let's try and keep some semblance of a quorum going in our cabinet meeting. That's more Trump talk. Best and the worst of the week, Chalmers. I'll go to you last. This
Yeah,
like you got
please
a
do.
lot. You got a little couple question marks for pupils. Bag milk.
I'm going to go best of the week. As always, my friend and yours, Wanye, Connor McDavid
The
on
best.
pace for 122 points this year. That would be
24th
his
goal.
best season by far. And the fact that the Oilers are 2 points out of a wild card spot with that talent on the roster is a big problem. But the positive side is Connor McDavid himself is an absolute stud.
My best of the week, similar. I mean, I love Connor, but you stole that one. That's fine. Leon, on pace for 103. We're complaining. We're remembering that Cates is worse than Pocklington incorrectly. We're falsely remembering Stockholm Syndrome that Kevin Lowe should be our GM. We shouldn't be ignoring the fact that Leon Draisaitl's on pace for 103 points, and there's been teammates with 100 points 4 times in the last 20 years.
Yeah, something like that. It hasn't happened a whole lot. And not quite as sexy, but my man Nuge on pace for 75, which would be a career high.
Smooth.
He's just awesome.
He is just a smooth, slick, polished hockey player.
My New Year's resolution, and we didn't talk about yours, Chalmers, but we'll get to that next show, is to you can't trap me on Twitter anymore in negativity. If the Oilers are down 11-0 in 2019, I'm going to be talking about the save that prevented it from being 12-0. And people have been like trolling on me hard lately. And I've just been coming like this one guy's like, you're delusional on Twitter. And I'm like, I am delusional. And I have a court order that the court forced me to laminate and carry around in my pocket and show to people I'm talking to. And then I got a couple of likes and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to kill him with, well, I don't know, mental illness probably at this point. That's my 2019.
You know, I respect that because I feel like I've done a bad job of being too negative on Twitter lately.
How can you not be mad?
And salty.
You gots to be.
I don't like being salty, though.
No, me either. I can't deal with it.
I like living in my bubble where Daddy Longneck's getting his neck measured. That's where I like to be.
And sometimes I'll just look up McDavid as a hashtag and just look at all the photos.
And look at the McFlow right now.
That looks good.
It's like a mane.
I'll go to
Does look
YouTube and type in Connor McDavid and I'll just watch the videos.
My son won't let me cut his hair because he wants to have flow coming out of his helmet like Connor McDavid, but it's on the way to having long hair like his granddad did when he used to play guitar.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
My little
it's not
nephew, we were
marvelous.
watching the game Saturday. He's got long hair.
Yeah, he's got some salad. It looks
Oh,
great.
yeah, he does.
He spazzed when Doughty hit Connor and laughed. We were sitting there watching the game together, boys' night. You know how we do. And I'm like, hey, you see that? You see how he's laughing on the bench? And I rewound it. And bless his little heart, he doesn't know what's going on. He goes, the bad guy's got Jujar, which made no sense at all whatsoever. But then he wedged himself underneath the TV behind baskets of toys. Like he got up, went, pulled out one of the baskets, climbed underneath, and wouldn't come out.
He's that mad.
He was that mad because he
Amen.
understood.
Runs
He's
in the
smart.
He gets
apartment. Yeah.
He's
He
smart.
knows. He knows.
He's a competitor.
So
Well,
your
he's got
best of the-
eyeballs, too.
My best
My best was Draisaitl, and your best of the week?
my best of the week is gonna piss you off so bad.
Oh boy, it's the Tier 7 Korean High Championships.
No, it's even better than that. It's the national championship in college
Sport?
football tonight.
Oh, that's all right. No, I respect the
Clemson
game.
versus Alabama.
I respect
So-
it. Go Roll Tide.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I have something to bet on tonight.
Boom.
There we go. For everybody that
Who
cares.
do you like?
Clemson.
Oh,
You know what? I don't like them. I want them to win. So this is going to be a heart bet.
they got that running back.
Don't know any of the players.
Oh,
Nope. Just know they're good.
Do you ever bet on sports you don't know anything about? Like you
sounds
All
like
the
he
time.
is
I'm
right
betting
now.
tonight.
Bag milk.
see Pak Takara on TV,
So
like that Thai
I go to a couple
volleyball.
websites and I read some stuff and I see what everybody says. And then plus I listen
There we
to,
go.
Yeah, I listen to some stuff during the day that is American and all they talk about is it. So
Amen.
yeah.
Worst of the week, Bag Milk. So many wonderful opportunities.
My worst of the week is going to be that last night's game, a 4-1 win or 4-0 win, had two of Peter Chiarelli's most recent acquisitions, Ryan Spooner and Brandon Manning, both healthy scratches. That is $5.25 million sitting in the press box
Ouch.
for a team that is starved for cap space, having, 5.25 sitting up there. Not a great look. Not a good look at all. Worst of the week, asset management.
What did we go? 1-7 after going 9-2?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe 2-8, maybe.
2 points out of a wild card, though, gang. There's no pictures on a scorecard.
And you know what? I'll do another best of the week. The Anaheim Ducks were on a 7-game losing streak, and the Oilers were going in last night. To me, Oilers have been slump busters forever. I'm like, shit. But you know what they did? They extended that losing
stepped up.
streak.
But tell the fun little fact from last night, too,
What was the fun fact? I don't remember.
about the shutouts, back to back.
Oh, yeah, it was the first time ever that's happened, that they've been shut out one night, and then they shut a team out the very next night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
I remember the start of the Kings game watching with my boy Indy there, and they're like, Jonathan Quick is on his 299th career win in the NHL. And I'm like, hey, that's not good. And then they're like, and the Oilers have won once in LA in the last 7 years. And I elbow him again. That's not good. And what was the other one? Oh, and the Oilers 0-7 going into this game. Like, that's not good. You're going to be hiding under the cupboards by the end of this night, my friend.
And they also ended 3 guys' extended scoring slumps in that game as well. Toffoli, Carter, and Kopitar hadn't scored in ages, and they all scored on Saturday.
Whoa.
Kovalchuk actually had one, but his got disallowed. Yeah.
You. And they made Soldier Boy stop selling his emulators.
Soldier Boy, come on, man.
All right. Well,
worst of the week.
who's still
One
going
A.
on this? Me? No, I just said
You did?
I'll do mine.
1-7, man. That's not my best.
My worst of the week is somebody named Gambardella. Who's this guy?
Joe Gambardella.
Yeah.
He is leading the Bakersfield Condor in scoring. He's got a wonderful beard.
Yes, he
He's
does.
very thick.
So
that's about all I
he's
know
going to
about
come
him.
to Connor McDavid's rescue like he did last night. Maybe don't do it in such an embarrassing fashion where he comes, grabs the other guy, and then all of a sudden Getzlaf comes and just everybody kind of shriveled really fast.
But what I want to know is,
Getzlaf made a lot of people shrivel last night. He
Yeah.
just makes a lot of people shrivel in general. Eh?
he's such a dick on the ice, but like a dick, like if he's on your team, you want him.
Yeah.
But my question was, why was
Hold on. Are
Gambardella?
you saying you would want that dick?
You need the dick. Everybody needs.
I want the dick.
Oh, boy. Listen to these two.
Isolate that, Jared. Isolate that.
I'll make a song out of
Yeah,
it.
make that into a ringtone. We still do ringtones?
I said, I want the dick.
Gambardella was the only one that stepped up, though. Where was everybody else?
Yeah,
Gone.
golden child.
Gone.
It is astounding to
That was
watch
funny.
how little zip I don't understand. I do not understand why they're so defeated. You look at the Flames, and they're squirting water bottles in each other's mouths, and Johnny Hockey's running around in the rink, playing mini sticks at intermission.
Little guys are fighting and beating people up.
What's his nuts? Bennett. He busted,
that guy.
turned himself into a fighter and whoops ass, and everybody's like, have to have him around. He's a glue guy. And the Oil, when you go up and down the ice or up and down the bench, look like they've been watching the Nielsen era reruns and don't think they can live up to those shoes.
Should we put make a bet as to when Toby Reader will score?
Or who scores first, Toby Reader or Milan Lucic?
Ooh.
Reader.
All right.
Lucic has 1. Reader's got 0.
I'd put Brett Lindros up against
We almost had
Lucic right
Brodziak
now.
in this, but except he sniped last night with a middle of the net backhand.
Fine work by Nuge on that play, by the way.
The best.
Well, the bad news is the Oil may never win again. The good news is, Chalmers, we didn't get to why the podcast studio isn't built.
Oh,
Tune
thank
in next
God.
time as I wring his neck. Real life podcast. See you
Your
next
fault.
week.
Bye.